Hello and welcome to the Office LAN Lab. We'll go ahead and show you the basics of how to use this Cisco application to simulate a small office LAN, get some basic connectivity going into a switch, assign some IPs, we'll talk about the ipconfig all command and the ping command as well to test connectivity. So once you've installed this application, let's go ahead and open it up. Once it opens up, we'll go ahead and maximize it, get a nice big canvas. And so inside of this application, you got a lot of options. We have a lot of devices, almost like you would be in a physical lab itself, but we can simulate this. So if we take a look on the bottom left, we got a lot of the different types of devices. We got these ones, we got switches, we got a lot of hubs, we got Wi-Fi devices, we have a lot of cabling, we got a lot of end devices, PCs, file machines, IP phones, you name it. Got a lot of WAN simulation, custom made devices. But in this lab, let's go ahead and set it up. We'll use the basic switch, the 2950. Nothing special about it. We just got a lot of links inside of it that we can take advantage of. And next, we'll go ahead and set up some end devices. Set up a few PCs. One of these guys as well. We'll imagine that's a copy machine. Let's go into the links. We just want to use some plain old patch cables. We can plug these into any of these. We'll kind of keep them in sequence to keep it nice and tidy. Once we've done that, next we'll go ahead and assign some IPs. We'll keep them all on the same subnet. So anytime you want to adjust the IPs for a specific device, you'll click on the device, you'll go into desktop. As you can see, you have a lot of options, but we won't be using most of these in almost all the labs. We'll just be using this one and this one to test out the commands. So let's go ahead and set the IP. We'll do 192.168.5.1. We'll stay on the 255.255.255 subnet. We don't need a default gateway because this is all just local communication. So let's go ahead and close out of this one. We'll use 192.168.5.2. We'll stay in the same subnet, obviously. We'll close out of this window. Same thing with this one, we'll just keep it going. 192.168.5.this. And last but not least, this one may change a little bit, but still the same concept. Once we've assigned all the IPs, now we've set up all of the devices, we've linked them up with patch cables. Now we'll go into each one of them, and once we've set the IPs, we can test connectivity. Now we have a couple of commands that you can usually use on Windows. One of them is the ipconfig all command. Plain and simple, this just gives you some of the basic settings on the NIC. We've got the physical MAC, we've got the IPv6, we've got the actual IP on it, we've got the subnet mask. We haven't set a default gateway, we don't need it. We don't need DNS, we don't need DHCP, so we left those as blank values. Once we know the IP, we can use the ping command. We could ping itself, we could do 192.168.5.1. Good way to test out the TCP IP stack locally. But that doesn't do us a whole lot of good. We want to test communication with someone else. Let's see if we can ping this guy. He was the 5.2 IP. And it looks like we got connectivity. So this guy sent a message to the switch sent it to this, back, and back to this guy, and it did it a few times. We didn't lose any packets, so that's good news. We'll go ahead and close out of this one. We'll go ahead and open this guy up. Let's find out what his IP is. So ipconfig all. He's got this IP. So we want to ping this guy. So his IP was ping 192.168.5 dot this. We got connectivity to him as well. So, as you can imagine, this is the switch in the IT closet. This guy could be, the copy machine in the hall. This could be Bill's office PC. This could be Janet's office PC, and let's imagine this guy was Mike's office PC. It's easy to kind of visualize it this way. We got a switch in the IT closet, we got desks in an office, and we got Janet, we got Mike's, we got Bill's. We assigned them all an IP in the same subnet scheme. And they all access this copy machine. They all have full communication now. You know how to hook them up, you know how to assign the IPs, and you know how to test connectivity. So, good job on that. That's about all we'll talk about on this assignment. And the last thing, let's go ahead and show you how to save the lab. You always want to save this. If you can, save it at the beginning. And then save as you do the steps, because one time I had an outage at my house and I lost all my lab. And I had to do it again. So it's a good idea to save as you go along. Always put the lab, which lab it is. I could do my name instead. Go ahead and save it. Once you've saved it, you can close out of it. It'll ask you if you want to save it again. You do. We'll click save. And then, if you go into the desktop, you can find the lab files inside of this. Go into saves, and that's the lab that we just saved. Not only do you want to submit the lab document that you fill out, submit it on Canvas, you'll also want to submit this file, just showing that you actually completed the lab, so we can open it up and we can test it out as well. So that about does it with that one.